Super Bowl this weekend. We're here. We made it. That guy's playing. This guy's playing. If you're not watching on video, I'm sorry.
And I'm voting for Kansas City. No.
Yeah, Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes. It's going to be a good game. We didn't talk about it last week because we had all this week to do it. That's good. I don't know what to say, though.
So I looked at a stat because I wanted to know when the last time a guy named Brady or Mahomes was in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in 2016 when the Denver Broncos bent over the Carolina Panthers.
Thanks.
And then Brady went on to see 3 straight. He has it on under.
The Panthers sweater on right now, but
okay. So for those of you
thanks for
not
bringing
able
up
to
that
watch,
wound. Just
for those of you not able to watch, Brant just pulled up his Tampa Bay Gronkowski jersey to reveal a Carolina Panthers sweater.
yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah, I didn't need to cut that.
yeah.
Deep. Thanks.
Anyways, but that's how ridiculous it is. It's another Super Bowl. It's another Brady year. You feel stabbed, don't you?
Yep. Cut me deep right there. You see
cut me deep, Shrek.
Cut my
cut me real deep, Shrek.
brutal. Yeah, Super Bowl, right? Shrek.
Right. Shrek's going to the Super Bowl. All right.
So, anyways, you were saying since 2016, Mahomes and Brady.
So Brady went to the 3 after that Super Bowl, and then Mahomes went to last year's.
Now they're together.
And, the perfect headline, I think, is unstoppable force versus immovable object, because Brady's been at that top, and Mahomes is coming in for that spot.
It's gonna be fun. It'll be a cool matchup. I think it's a cool matchup for the future. Just like, hey,
who do you think this game means more for?
See, it's a cool question because, like, it's easy to say Pat Mahomes because he's got to beat the best to be the best. But, like, everyone's looking at Tom Brady like, oh, he's not really the GOAT. His teams were so good in the run. I'm like, shut up. But he wouldn't mind taking a 7th to be like, shut up. I got 7 of these things. I almost need another hand at this point.
Not only do I have 7, but I just went to a new team.
Yeah.
And brought them, especially an organization who has never seen.
They've been dog shit in their whole franchise. Yeah.
So he took them and he made them gold. And sure, he got some friends to help him along the way. Mm-hmm. But the Buccaneers traded for Gronkowski's contract. So that's on the Patriots for just handing him over. Mm-hmm. Right? Antonio Brown was released and then signed to be a Buccaneer.
Yep.
And even still, he's been dealing with injuries. He hasn't been there the whole time. Like, Tom Brady has just shown that he is the greatest in this game still. I think it means so much more to him than it does for Patrick Mahomes. And not just because I'm a big Brady fan, but because, like, he's that old guy now, right? Patrick Mahomes is technically the king of the mountain because the Chiefs won last year.
Mm-hmm. He's got to dethrone last year's Super Bowl winner on a team that has never won a Super Bowl, never really even been there, and on a completely new team in his first season to get his 7th ring. Like, that's kind of cool. Also, on that GOAT conversation, Tom Brady is the leader in NFL passing touchdowns, 2nd in passing yards, and has 7 Super Bowl rings. I don't care what you say. Nobody's touching those numbers. Like, I think Barstool was doing something stupid where they were saying, oh, no, it's Aaron Rodgers. It's like, shut up. No. Aaron Rodgers, A, didn't play long enough compared to what Tom Brady did. And B, like, yeah, okay, his playoff record wasn't great because his teams weren't great. He still hasn't – he's been to the playoffs less times than Tom Brady's been to the Super Bowl.
What round was Tom Brady drafted in?
Like the 115th, I think. Like,
right. He was a 5th round. Almost 199.
He wasn't supposed to be good, and he turned around and became this. And like,
he was behind Drew Bledsoe for his first year, waited till his 2nd year for him to get injured, and then went on a run and never looked back. He never gave back the starting job.
My favorite thing to see too is the people that are like, "Oh, you can't use the rings as an argument," and then turn around and go, "Yeah, but Jordan's the greatest of all time because he's got 6 rings and LeBron doesn't." I'm like, okay, hold on, because Stephen Smith did this, and he's just like, yeah, you can't call Tom the GOAT because of the rings. Like, the rings is an argument to use, but he says the exact opposite about Michael Jordan. It's like, If you're going to use that as greatness one place, then Tom Brady's the greatest that ever lived in football.
But why is it just the rings? How about it's the Super Bowl
I
appearances?
hate the rings conversation.
Right.
Anything,
How about
but I
it's
just
Super
think
Bowl appearances? How about it's the division championships? How about it's the MVPs? It's the Super Bowl MVPs.
he has a better percentage chance of making the Super Bowl than Steph Curry does hitting a 3-point shot. And Steph Curry has one of the best 3-point percentages in history. Apparently, Amir was telling me this yesterday or 2 days ago. Apparently, he has a better chance of making the Super Bowl than Michael Jordan did hitting a basket. So, yeah, that's enough of that GOAT conversation.
He is good.
Great.
He is elite.
Yep.
He is the best, and he just keeps going, and he keeps going.
Still there.
Yes, and like he just gets older, and it doesn't matter what you know what I mean? Everyone said, oh, he's on the AFC where he's on that side. He went to the NFC, the oldest he's ever been, and ran the table.
Arguably had the best year he's had
When it
in
matters.
like
It
5.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your record. It matters if you get in the playoffs and what you do in the playoffs.
Mhm.
If you're able to go all the way, and he does it every single time.
Yep.
He makes it to the dance 10 times.
Yeah.
He wins 6 of them, could be 7 of them.
Mhm.
And he goes up against whoever was supposed to be the one to dethrone him, and they don't.
No. Nope.
You know, unless you're named Manning. Like, that's it.
This is the most passing yards he's had since 2015.
Dude, I know. He did not slow down.
This is the most passing touchdowns he's had since 2007.
Right. That was the Randy Moss year, was it not?
I believe so.
Yeah.
2007, 2008, like that little era
61.
there.
Was that 60 or 51?
He had, in 2007, he had 50. This is the second most touchdowns he's ever had in his career, for starters.
Right.
Just the numbers on him are nuts. So he's been picked off a lot, yes, but that comes with the territory of having a completely new team. So I give him, it's whatever. This is the best completion percentage, one of the best completion percentages he's had in the last 10 years. Like the guy turned it around at age 43.
He threw for like just under 100 yards, less than Mahomes.
And everyone looks at Pat Mahomes like he's a god.
Right. And I understand that Mahomes obviously threw it less total times, but he also has Tyreek Hill. Mm-hmm. He has the best tight end of the game. Mm-hmm. He has the fastest receiving options in the game. And Tom Brady had no preseason, no opportunity to get to know any guys. Right. And then they threw in Antonio Brown in the mix, and yet everything went smooth sailing.
And just a complete wheel of running backs. Like there wasn't really
I think that what they've done actually was they tricked everybody in the regular season with Leonard Fournette, and they showed minimal of him, and they showed him when they needed to. And then now that he's healthy and there's not really a risk of a lingering injury, that he's ready to go, he looks great. And that offensive line doesn't get enough credit. One thing that Brady has always had, and they've always made sure that he's had, is an offensive line.
Yep, he's good time.
And Kansas City's is hurting. They just lost their best tackle. Mm-hmm. Last game.
It'll be interesting. And I don't know.
Their Canadian from last year stayed home this year to fight against COVID. He didn't go back. So they have almost like a brand new front line.
Yeah.
And you have to protect the best player in the game in the best game of the year.
I don't think Pat Mahomes is all that healthy right now. Like, obviously, he had that issue with his foot a couple weeks ago. I think he might be over that a bit, but it's still going to be lingering. Like, it doesn't heal that quick.
It's going to make your ability to escape out of that pocket a lot harder.
I don't care what you say. That kid's still concussed. You don't recover that quickly. And I'm like, you're trying to deal with that mid-game now in the Super Bowl under the bright lights with all those people there. It's going to be tough. I don't know.
I don't think it'll have as much of like a home field advantage as I would hope for the first team. Like I remember when Minnesota was like that close to being the team to go to the Super Bowl in their own backyard. And I was fearful because it didn't matter who was the home team or not. It was Minnesota Stadium. And now though, but I don't think you're going to get that. I don't think there's going to be enough of a home field advantage for the Bucs for it to like spook Mahomes. Not that it would anyways. That kid is so calm, cool, collected, always.
Yeah.
Like
it's who do you think's taking the game?
I think it's going to be the Patriots, man.
The Patriots.
There's just the Patriots.
You know what? I wouldn't put it past them. They've won so many lately that I think they could do it. They seem to be a
I
win
have
franchise.
never said a Super Bowl with Tom Brady not on the Patriots, and I refuse to say it.
Tom Brady is the Patriot.
I'm wearing his jersey right now, man. Yeah. No,
I
I think it's the
almost
Bucs.
went with it for a second because I was like, yeah, right. And I'm like, wait, that's not Tom Brady's team anymore.
Sorry, I'm a little off my rock apparently here. Just go back. The Patriots version 2. I think they're in Tampa Bay now.
The NFC Patriots.
No, yeah, I'm going with the Bucs. I just think that it's Tom Brady has been in these games, done this before, and how many times has he been the underdog? How many times has he faced the hype teams? And like that defense has looked way better and way under the radar. I think like the offensive line being injured for Kansas City is going to cause a lot more issues than I feel like people are giving them credit for, right? JPP has looked unreal.
Unbelievable, yeah.
And
their pass rush in general is just great.
Right. The 7 in there, and they just got Vita Veda back, who's like this huge unit of a middle. Like, you're not going to be able to run down the middle. No. It's like having Vince Wilfork in there again, where it's like you just look, and there's this big Tampa jersey covering 4 of your linemen, and he's just standing there. And you're like, well, what do I do with that?
The one thing I think is going to be tough, it's real hard to cover for everyone, is like the Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce duo, where it's like you're going to have to double team one. And I think I put my stock into Tyreek Hill. Like, I'm going to double team Hill and try and just stop Kelce one-on-one. It's hard. I get it. But I think that's the play, is like you try and limit Travis Kelce and you just try and shut down Tyreek Hill. That'll be a story to watch. I think it'll be interesting all game long. I think if I'm a betting man, I'm going with the Chiefs. But I can definitely foresee a situation where the Bucs defense shows up and just runs the game, essentially. And then Tom can just manage the clock with all his little passes and do all that. And they could just run the clock out and not give Pat Mahomes a chance to do things against them.
I'm looking here at when they played each other in the season, man. And that was Tyreek Hill had to go off for 269 yards, 3 TDs, and they won by 3.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And like Travis Kelce still went for 82 yards there, and you won by 3.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you can lock Tyreek Hill up, you're limiting the deep threat. Like, I know Kelce can pick up yards, but like he's not picking up an 80-yard pass. Whereas Tyreek Hill can beat you downfield with his speed and do all that. I think you lock him up, and I think the game is yours, even if Travis Kelce is a good game.
Yeah, fair. I've never once bet against Brady, and I can't do it. You know, I sat there and I thought about, obviously, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, and I said at the beginning of the year that if Kansas City was my odds favorite to make it to the Super Bowl and to win a Super Bowl, and I stuck through that through the whole year because I didn't think that Tampa Bay would truly be here.
No.
And now that they are, though, it's like you ask yourself, like, how can you bet against Brady? And especially with this, I think this is the deepest, most talented roster of offensive weapons that he's had in any Super Bowl. Like, I've been a fan of the Patriots. I've seen his teams. I've seen, we have like players. We've got
Julian Edelman.
Right. But, even when you had Randy Moss and like Wes Welker, but you don't have the tight end option. You don't have the third wide receiving option. You don't have the running back. Like,
Gronk.
Now you do, but Gronk wasn't there when Randy Moss was there.
You're right.
Like that's what I mean. Like when Gronk was there and Hernandez was there, it was like it was the two of them, and then it wasn't. Julian Edelman
exists, but he's not.
But he wasn't. He was still transitioning from quarterback to wide receiver. Like he wasn't.
He did some.
He was still coming out of Wes Welker's shadow. Sorry for being so. Shadow.
Yeah, you're right.
But like just now he has everybody there, and even with AB doesn't play. Mm-hmm. There's no issues there because that just makes it that much easier for Tom Brady to go, okay, I have my tight end. Okay, I have Mike Evans. Okay, I have Chris Godwin. Yeah. And even, I'm trying to think of his name right now, but he was on their roster, and he was basically in that AB role. He's one of their wide receivers, and very limited time, but he's one of those reliance guys, like those Cole Beasley, like I just need a couple yards.
Mhm.
and he runs hard. And I'm trying to remember his name as I kind of just keep rambling on, but like he's a good fourth option, and
Scotty
he's
Miller.
gonna. I believe it's Scotty Miller.
Yeah, he popped off that touchdown that
Yep.
kind of led to the win for them last week.
Right. And so that's a good fourth option to have. And they just cycle through and they'll show you so many different looks. And then like even I forgot about Cameron Brate. Like Cameron Brate's there, who was their starting tight end last year, and he's
been their like ball receiving tight end for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Like Gronk's still there and he picks up yards here and there. But like they're using Brate way more, and he looks great.
Gronk's name alone, man, like Gronk shows you that if you leave
have
him,
to
he's gonna
worry
go.
about him. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you leave him, he's gonna do it, and if you cover him, then other people are gonna be able to do it. Like it's so many options.
Deep.
And like you were able to say with Hill and Kelsey, like once you shut down 1-2, what are 3, 4, 5? Like Sammy Watkins is potentially out. He's questionable. Yeah, like I know Antonio Brown and Sammy Watkins both, but like Sammy Watkins, that hurts more for Kansas City
than Antonio Brown. Yeah,
right. Mecole Hardman is fast for sure.
He can fly.
Doesn't hang onto the ball really well. He's not really shown that
he's punt last week.
Doesn't really show he's a number 2.
No.
You know,
he's definitely not a number 2. He's a good supporting guy, but he can't be.
He's a great 3-4 punt return, kick return, but I think that if Kansas City doesn't start out hot and really hot,
could be tough. Could be tough.
Yeah,
because Tom's just so good at managing the game.
Yeah, Tom sucks in the first quarter. You know, he's only scored 3 points in his entire Super Bowl. Out of 9 Super Bowls, he scored 3 points in the first quarter. That's it.
Yikes.
He's never scored a touch. But so the storylines, they just keep coming. Tom's gonna score his first touchdown.
Yeah.
Tom's gonna be the first.
It's the time to do all this stupid shit.
Tom's gonna be 43 and win a Super Bowl. Tom's gonna take out the best quarterback in the game. You know, it just
the storylines are
there. Tampa Bay is gonna win their first championship. Bruce Arians is gonna be, add to his legacy. Yeah. Yes.